Minister, I am really shocked when I read that your billionaire buddy from Ryanair thinks you're playing a stormer. I just want to remind you that this man caused a lockout in Dublin Airport in the mid-90s because he refused to recognise trade unions. And it's extraordinary to see you all on the one side of the pitch fighting ordinary working-class people. And indeed, what they're saying about you, Minister, on the picket line is that you are literally stepping aside, which is what you are passionately there to defend, which is step aside. So I just want to say that what happened last Friday may have shook you to your toes to get on Morning Ireland with an impulsive reaction to condemn these people who are here today to witness what you have to say about them. We think that what they did last Friday was very important because otherwise you, this government and the company are totally ignoring what in reality is happening for the last 13 days. Shut down the capital and you all wake up and smell the coffee.
Minister, first of all I pay tribute to the determination and the resolve of the 2,400 bus workers who have 12 days now spent on the picket line defending themselves against unilateral and savage cuts to their pay and to the whole public transport system. Now, in your attempt to justify your absence from the pitch and your failure to intervene on this matter, you have repeated endlessly the mantra that you don't have a chequebook to bring to solve this dispute. Now, can I make a very simple proposal, Minister? It was revealed over the weekend that Transport Infrastructure Ireland has €100 million that it didn't expect in a refund back from revenue. €100 million. It would cost 7 to 9 million to solve this dispute. That money is going a-begging. It's not earmarked for anything, and it's under your remit, and nothing would be more appropriate than money from Transport Infrastructure Ireland, I repeat, was used to resolve the Bus Eireann dispute and to ensure these workers don't have to accept savage pay cuts and cuts to public services. So will you use that money, simple question, to resolve this dispute so these workers can go back to work on fair pay and conditions?
Deputy Kenny, 1 minute.
Thanks, I'd like to comment on two comments that were made over the weekend. One by Michael O'Leary, the enemy of the working class in this country, and the Social Protection Minister, Leo Varadkar. And basically, Leo Varadkar said that this company should fold. And I think that's the ideology of this government. Then Michael O'Leary goes on and he says he praises you for not intervening. Now, this man is the Prince of Darkness to me. This man is the enemy of the working class. And what the ideology of this government is to do is to privatise a public service. We go on this House about the rural Ireland and its decline. Because this is such a good public service in rural Ireland, you're taking that away. And that's, to me, that's more detrimental than anything in the world. So, look, you have to come forward and resolve this strike.
I want to completely back up what Deputy Tommy Brune said. I think you have illustrated in your response to us that you have actually changed your tune and acknowledged that you, as the Minister for Transport, are indeed up to your neck in it. And to say that there is never any ministerial intervention required in industrial disputes is a bit ironic coming from a government who not so long ago, I will remind the House, intervened at the threat of a blue flu by An Garda Síochána and found 40 million to settle that issue. And that 40 million was announced by the Minister, Paschal Donoghue. So it is wrong to say that ministers do not intervene. You do indeed intervene. And I'd like to ask you why you think that Gardaí are more important as public servants than bus drivers, why you think they should have preferential treatment, and why you think that they didn't have to go out and strike, but that these workers have spent the last 13 days without pay, on the picket line, and also receiving the brunt of the anger and ire of people who've been discommoded, and in some level a very unfair description of them as somehow being, you know, the worst enemies of this country. Indeed they are not. Could you please answer that question in relation to their role?
Minister, in all seriousness, as the Minister of Transport, I would suggest after this discussion you go and meet with the transport workers who actually provide the transport service, and they will explain to you how this is a manufactured crisis, a rigged game, not a level playing field, and everything has conspired to force this dispute, where they are now suffering for 12 days on the picket line, but very, very determined that they are not going to be done down to the extent of 30% pay cuts and an assault on our public transport system. And I repeat, and you did not answer me this, Minister, Transport Infrastructure Ireland has revealed that it is €100 million extra that it did not expect to have. That's €100 million that is going a-begging. Now, I am asking you directly, Minister, what would be more appropriate than to spend €100 million additional money that is not earmarked for anything, to spend some of that to resolve a national transport strike which is about the protection of our bus transport infrastructure and ensuring that towns and villages up and down this country have a public service transport infrastructure. Meet with the workers after, take some money from TII.
Colleagues have to be facilitated. Deputy Kenny.
Thanks. Let's go on, Carla. I just want to state some facts, and this kind of gets at the hub of this dispute. And the facts are, in Switzerland, the Belgian government pays 78% towards public service, PSO, as in Ireland. The other facts, in Switzerland, is 51%, in Holland it's 49%, and in last place is Ireland at 12%. So when you have underfunded public service, such as Bus Eireann, you're going to have a crisis. And this crisis is not just for Bus Eireann, but you look at what's going to happen in Dublin Bus over the next year. Dublin Bus is going to be open to 10% of private operators. The exact same thing is going to happen to Bus Eireann workers, as in Dublin Bus workers. This is an ideological assault on public transport in Ireland, and it's time you get your finger out.